The one question I always ask is, what would you choose if nobody cared? What would you choose if you didn't get any brownie points for your choice? What would you choose if nobody sort of honored you as a good person or a virtuous person for your choice? What would you choose? If you could choose anything, and the only result of that choice would be the natural consequence. So let's suppose this. Let's suppose you could eat any food you wanted to eat, and the natural consequence is you'd get fat. But nobody would judge you for being fat. There wouldn't be any social consequence, just the physical consequence. So just bring on the donuts, bring on the M&Ms, bring on whatever it is. What would you choose to eat? Now when I ask people this, and I'll say, I don't want you to answer now. I want you to go and really contemplate, what would you choose to eat if you could choose anything? What if you could steal anything you want and not get caught? So you wouldn't have the consequence of the law. You just have the natural consequence of however you felt from doing that. Some of the guys at Enron kind of thought that they could do that. But I want to create that world for you. You could choose absolutely anything, and you wouldn't go to jail because you wouldn't get caught. And you could steal anything you wanted. What would you choose? My favorite one is this. Assuming you were married. What if you could cheat on your spouse and never get caught, never get found out? You could have as many affairs as you wanted to have with whomever you wanted to have, and anybody you wanted to respond to you would respond to you. What would you choose? Now there's a natural consequence to having a lot of affairs, and that's usually the loss of intimacy with your spouse because you're preoccupied with your fantasy life. But that's the only consequence. People hate that when I ask that question because it really makes them think when they say, you mean I never get caught? Never? Because we all want to think we're a good person, but because we're trying to do the right thing for the right reason. We all want to think that, and this gives them the opportunity to actually make a choice and think about it free of the kind of social consequences that we normally think about. And the deepest question I ask people, particularly people who are believers, I say, what if you could choose to do anything, make any choice, and God would not be mad at you? Your choices would have a natural consequence, but He wouldn't punish you. There wouldn't be some vengeance that would come across you. You just have to live with the consequence of that choice, but He would love you. And I say, you know, the easy way to think about it is you probably have kids, and your kids make lots of choices, some you don't like so much, but you don't quit loving them, right? Even if they make really stupid choices. Well, suppose God was like that. So you can make any choice you want. What would you choose? Well, honestly, for most people, this is mind-bending. And what I ask them to do is take some silence and start to write what would come to their mind. And you know what's fascinating? When they come back, almost everyone, not everyone, but almost everyone says they'd eat healthy food, they wouldn't steal, they wouldn't cheat on their wife, and they'd try to live in the most honorable way possible. But let me tell you the difference. Once a person comes to understand that that's their choice, instead of that's how they were raised, or that's how they were manipulated, or that's how they were guilt-tripped, everything changes. Because you go from a place of having to, forcing to a place of choice. The feelings of inner integrity about being true to this internal part of you completely changes the way you approach choices from here on out.